Hello, this is the video for Capricorn Moon. So Capricorn is an earth sign, and it's ruled by the planet Saturn, and it is a cardinal sign, cardinal meaning energy for initiating. So in regards to people with the moon sign in Capricorn, those people have a very practical, realistic outlook on life. Emotionally, they can be quite serious or reserved, quite cool and in control of their emotions. They usually have an intelligence about them, which they would use in, not always, but sometimes in a business sense. So a lot of people with strong Capricorn in their charts, even Capricorn suns, the business world appeals to them in some way. So they may have a desire to get to the top of their field of interest, or they might just want to have their own business, be their own boss, that sort of thing. They the position of the moon in Capricorn is actually known in Western astrology as being in detriment. So detriment means it's not the best position for the moon sign, and the reason for that is because it's ruled by the planet Saturn. There's a connection with an issue around a parental figure. So when it's Capricorn moon, it could be the mother or the father, but yeah, because being the moon, there's a connection to the mother there, but also Saturn as the father. Traditionally, symbolically, Saturn represents the father. So oftentimes Capricorn moon people have had some kind of problem with the father or with the dominant parent, and that problem could be in connection to a parent that was withholding love, or didn't know how to show love, or was absent in some way, or was over dominant and restrictive. So that kind of influence in the early life brings problems with self-worth for the individual with Capricorn moon. So unless you know that Capricorn moon has got some really beneficial aspects in the individual chart, so say a person in their individual chart has Jupiter trine moon, or Pluto trine moon, or something, some kind of supporting energy, then it might not be as bad for them. So yeah, that's why it's known as being in detriment, because there's some kind of chip on the shoulder of the individual because of the early home life. Capricorn moon people sometimes have to come into responsibility early in life. So some children with Capricorn moon may be the first child in the family, and therefore the expectations put on them might be higher, or they might have to look after younger siblings, or something to do with their earlier home life saw them being in a position of authority themselves. So often Capricorn moon children have to sort of grow up a bit faster because they have to take on a bit more responsibility somehow. And so because of that, it gives them a kind of seriousness to their personality, and they have a very strong self-preservation instinct, and they're not big risk takers, but they would be more comfortable taking calculated risks in situations. They like to be knowledgeable, so knowledge helps them feel more secure in themselves and helps them feel more confident, and they're most content when they're security focused, or focused on creating and building security in their own lives. So they're very realistic people. They're not sort of prone to flights of fancy or kind of escapist kind of dreams. They're more kind of like dealing with the practical things in front of them, the day-to-day life, business, work sphere of life. They feel comfortable in that sort of thing, those sorts of areas. As I said, they're very business-minded. Even if they're speaking to, say, their next door neighbour, they might still have a very formal way or a very reserved way of talking. And they're really good at using material resources to get what they want. So they know how to kind of deploy their resources and use those resources to get the best out of what they're wanting to achieve. So they can be moody, the Capricorn moons, and sometimes because they feel like they have a lot of obstacles, or they can moan or complain because they're like, oh, you know, I've got to do this today, but then this, you know, they always sort of might be focusing on what's in the way of them getting to what they need to get to. So they might be focused on obstacles, and you probably know that symbolism in connection to Capricorn is the goat trying to climb to the top of the mountain. So, you know, they're always sort of having to deal with these rocky patches, and you know, that's kind of comes into focus there. So they might be seen by other people as being a bit negative or a bit moody or over serious, a bit of a stick in the mud. And if you're trying to get to know someone with the Capricorn moon, you might find that you might think, oh, they're a bit cold, or they're not very warm, or very businesslike, or very formal. It's just their way of protecting themselves, and they are sensitive. They do have sensitive emotions, you know, deep down, but they don't feel comfortable with those emotions. They feel more comfortable relating on a just practical, realistic level. That's their comfort zone. So yeah, they're very loyal people. So when they are committed to somebody, they are very loyal in that regard, and they actually are not afraid of commitment. So that's, you know, a positive thing there. They will not resist commitment or, you know, traditional kind of situations that sort of feels more natural to them, unless they've got a lot of Aquarius somewhere else in their chart. But yeah, so I'm just obviously talking about just the moon sign. What else can I tell you? Generally, they're pretty responsible people. They can be quite stubborn, and you know, yeah, as I said, the negative sides are, you know, issues and problems with self-worth, and being too focused on reality, so to speak. So they might not have been able to get in touch with the spiritual side of themselves, or they may not have any higher beliefs. They might just be sort of looking at the reality and, you know, the three-dimensional reality, and sort of, you know, they might not take their perceptions any further than that. And what else can I tell you? Just checking my notes again. Oh yeah, in terms of their emotions, yeah, that's the trickiest thing, is their emotions and getting to the depth of their emotions. They do find it very difficult to talk about their emotions, and the reason for that is because if they do open up and talk about their deeper emotions, or what's making them sad, or what they feel upset about, it's like they're worried that they're going to start to look out of control, and they don't like that. And they also don't want to burden other people with their problems as well. So it's an earth sign as well, and earth signs for the moon, they're very cruel, and they are cruel and controlled. But if a Capricorn moon is pushed to the point where they do become upset, it can be a pretty full-on reaction, because they generally don't have quick reactions, they have slow reactions. So it's like a Taurus moon. You know, Taurus moon, you have to sort of push and push and push, and then you will get you'll get an explosive reaction. And it's the same with Capricorn moon. If a Capricorn moon is pushed and pushed and pushed, it's like an earthquake. It's like, you know, yeah. So I've known a couple of people with Capricorn moon, and yeah, if they're angry, everybody knows about it, and it's like slamming doors, and just, yeah, it's like the whole house is shaking, which is funny because it's like the earth, you know. That's what I make, the connection that I make anyway. I'm sure there's so much more that I can say about the Capricorn moon, but that's what's coming to me at the moment. If you have a Capricorn moon and you'd like to share, please do. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching.